Good afternoon, folks. I'm David Mancuso with Mancuso Show Management, and we're on day 4 of our Create DIY. This has been a very fun show. People that are taking the workshops, we're getting a lot of positive feedback. We're also getting a lot of people watching our free presentations, and that's also exciting. They can be seen now also on Instagram and Facebook, along with and YouTube. So we're keeping pretty busy here. We have an exciting presentation coming up right now. There's a lot of vendors that are obviously no longer out at the shows, and one of our vendors that's been with us for many years and does plenty of our shows. Everybody probably knows them, Diane and Bruce Magidson of SewBatik, and they're here to talk about how they're innovating new products for the change in times and what they're going to be doing in the future. And so there's a lot going on. And so welcome, Diane and Bruce Magidson.
Hey, David.
Hi, David. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. Where are you? Where are you? Tell us where you are, both in the room and in the state, or what state you're in. And
we are in North Dakota, and we are in a little town called Mayville, which is about 200 miles due south of Canada, Winnipeg. And we're in our studio. We set up a studio in our office, and it's worked out quite well.
Is there snow on the ground there?
But of course.
Just a little.
Just a little. Do you get a lot of snow up there? Just kind of curious.
Well, the great fiction that comes from Diane and her mom telling me of the days when Diane had to slide out of the second-story window of her bedroom to get out of the house. There was so much snow.
It's true.
I've lived here 20 years. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
And this year we've had probably 2 inches, and that's it. So.
Yeah, I've heard that it really doesn't snow that much up that way.
No, but we have a lot of 20 below days.
Yeah.
To make up.
Yeah, well, you get the cold, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I obviously you're off the show circuit, and you're working from home, staying safe, and so I guess COVID has changed a lot of things for you and other people, and it's my understanding you're being very innovative, and you're coming up with new products, and I talk to Bruce quite often, actually, so I keep my finger on what these guys are doing up there, and so tell us about, I see you have some new products. You have this Java batik shower curtain. That sounds very unusual. Tell us about that. We'll get that on the screen also.
So it's actually, it's funny. We decided to kind of migrate a lot of our products since we are home. What do we need at home? We haven't spent the last 15 years at home. And so when we were kind of going through our house and thinking about how we could use some of our newest products, this one is actually using one of our 115-inch wide quilt backings, traditional quilt backings, but it's a double border. And so we're using it as accent fabric in our home. And one of the ways to show it was our shower curtain. And so we actually did a little video and made a new curtain with matching wall hangings for our own bathroom. And they're available on our website as well. And those are some of the things that we've been trying to do is how do we kind of change our own lives, and knowing that, half the country, if not all of the country, is home. So there's lots of things that people are doing in their own homes. And so we're trying to add that to what we do on a daily basis.
Way to go. So it's my understanding that there's also a matching wall hanging, and then you're doing some tea towels. I think we had images of that also. Right.
Yeah, and just simply, those were using our pre-cuts, and we do a lot of cotton pre-fused pre-cuts. Simple one-piece background, doing a little bit of a design, and it's something that anybody can do. And so that's what those projects were.
Okay, so we know that you over the years, over the last particularly 4 or 5 years, and I know this from seeing you at the shows, you've geared a little bit out of the quilts and really geared towards wearable, and the petites, and I've felt some of them in my hands. They're beautiful, beautiful fabrics that you manufacture.
Thank you.
Tell us about you have a duo tank top and tell us about what you have. Okay.
Yeah, I have one actually right back here. And this is, it's a really, really fun project. And this is made from our batik rayon. And it is a tank top plus, and so it can be worn just like a tank top. and then a cover up that goes over the front of it. And we really try to keep a lot of our projects simple. So you're not going to see a lot of zippered products or garments or anything. And this one is just one that you just put over your head. And they're just very, very simple. We want to be able to attract people to easy ways to use the fabric and sew with the fabric while they're learning a new technique. So kind of migrating from quilting into some of the garment sewing, which is what a lot of people did when they first started sewing.
And the Fashion Duo is our vehicle
Right.
for doing that, where we package the fabric,
The pattern.
pattern,
If it needs interfacing or if it needs snaps or buttons or whatever, it all comes pre-packaged so that you can simply start by washing your fabric and making your garment.
Okay, you anticipated my next question. So, but do people then, when they buy this from you, do they also then have like their recommended rayons? Like, in other words, you show them like particular, so many patterns and, excuse me, so many designs.
combinations and so on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you anticipated that. We noticed that you have the nuance gradations.
Yes.
And so what are your top petites? What would you say the top 2 or 3 petites are that sell for you?
Well, over the history of our company, we're known for our petite quilt backings,
Right.
wide width petite
We
fabrics.
have some of them in the
which you
back
see
wall here.
behind us. And that is still an extremely important vehicle for us. But I have to say that, especially with our recent focus on wearables, that our petite rayon
Yeah.
is right there with it. And the 72-inch wide cotton jersey is coming on really, really fast.
Right.
We've just become, especially since the onset of the pandemic days, we've become very project centric. We always used to be, especially in a show, we used to be a little more fabric centric, but now we feel that we need to show our customer base interesting, exciting, entertaining things to do with our
Right.
fabrics.
More education, and we can sit and show the 100 different rayon fabrics that we have, or the 60 some different backing fabrics that we have. But a lot of people want to see, what am I going to do with it? What can I do with that? Or I can make an apron. Like, here's one of our apron kits that we did, and it's just a fun way to add something again to your home. But then I had some leftover. So after this,
That being the crisscross.
right, the crisscross apron pattern, then I made matching double oven mitts. So who doesn't want new oven mitts for their house? And so, we try to use every stitch of the fabric. And I don't know, there's a lot of quilters and garment sewers out there that have stacks and stacks and stacks of leftover fabric. And so that is one thing that I just absolutely love to do, is what am I going to do with the rest of it? And so we're just thinking about different ways to do different things and educate at the same time. And you'll see a lot of that on our website. It's not just, the header isn't just fabric, it's projects and how we sort of live. And we get a lot of direction also from our customers. We love to hear from our customers. And that's the piece that we miss on the face-to-face of being in a show. But people are getting more comfortable just sending an email and shooting a question, and that helps us as well.
People are getting comfortable working online. Do you have any other products you'd like to talk about? Or
we actually, the other things that we do have a couple things that are really, really fun. And it's funny, and I don't know whether or not it was Bruce on the newsletter or not, but our ironing board covers, again, it's a home project, but we have a whole selection of different sized ironing board covers, and uses batik. So you pre-wash your fabric. We kit it up with wool batting and everything. And so you get a project about this size, and we have them for every size ironing board cover. So that was one thing that we couldn't believe that people wanted that. But again, they're home, they're sewing, they want a really nice sewing room, and it was fun. So that was kind of cool. And I would say our finished garments, we have been selling some scarves that they're gift items as well. So like our pareos, these are really, really fun and beautiful scarves that can be worn in so many different ways. And we have different variations of these. We have neck scarves and longer scarves. We have our jersey knit scarves for our winter weather. So we've been trying to do things other than, 3 yards of backing or whatever. So it's really been fun for us to do some new things.
That makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
and actually, I think you're being very smart with what you're doing. It's nice to have that variety, and hopefully. So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself ever returning completely to the show circuit, or what do you see as a future here?
Well, let's do it by term. So let's say in the next year, the first hope is that we get to reopen our storefront.
Yeah.
We've been closed since March because we have a loved one that we're caring for at home, and we have to be very, very cautious. And during that let's say 1 year period, we have to really focus on an expanded range of videos and remote educational opportunities for our customers.
Yeah.
And we're going to initiate a new program of developing beautiful and comfortable products for our curvy people.
Yeah, I don't know, your question was all about whether or not we would go back to shows, and
that would take us into year 2.
I think so. I think this year, we're hearing what our customers want us to kind of help them with and expand our projects and products that we have on our website. I think had things changed with the pandemic towards the end of last year and really the world calmed down just a little bit, there might be a very easy answer, which is yes. But I don't even think we know what's going to happen. And I think we play it just like the rest of the world is playing it. And, our goal is to stay safe. Our goal is to continuing our business and make sure that we're adding products to our quilters and crafters customers and expanding that marketplace. The minute somebody says, okay, we're going to do it, we'll take a look at it, because, we used to do 30, 40 shows a year.
As many as 55.
But
ultimately, the public will show us the way forward.
Right.
And whether you're a show promoter or you're a vendor, the customer will show us which way we have to go forward.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Very good. So we know that you also design and manufacture these batiks. How has that been affected in getting material, and what's the scoop on that with manufacturing and getting the stuff to you?
It's actually quite dramatic. While the pandemic is worse in the United States than anywhere else, certainly it is a worldwide phenomenon. And our suppliers are dealing with it, and they have fallen ill. They have remained home to care for loved ones. And capacity on ocean vessels and air freight is tighter, more expensive, slower than it's ever been. And there's a whole slew of logistical issues that have come into play as a result of the pandemic.
I mean, just think about all the packages during the holidays or whatever that took 3-4 weeks to get to, from LA to Maine. Our products that we design and manufacture are coming from Indonesia. And so it just adds a level of complexity, and it really hit everybody. So we're doing our best to keep things moving along. And, if we have to express, we express. If we, otherwise it's ocean freight for us, and that works really well for us. So
just last night, our key supplier in Indonesia sadly reported that more than 100,000 cases of COVID-19 are active in Indonesia, and they really feel the pain. It's a very familial society.
Yeah.
People live in close proximity, especially in the manufacturing sectors of Indonesia, and absolutely horrible. This particular person's mentor just passed away, so it's
Yeah.
affecting everybody and everything.
Yes. So Diane, you're very talented. I've known you for several years now. Have you considered teaching? You would make such a great instructor.
Very clever, David.
Very clever.
Very clever.
Actually, I have considered teaching, and I really would love to. And I plan to put together some different topics that incorporate our fabric and possibly patterns from some of our favorite designers. And you know something, actually, that is one thing that we have done with other people as well, is I have a garment that we had created. We worked with a company called Fit for Art. So we're doing a lot of partnerships as well. And I'd like to do this for myself, or again, is we created it was a retreat. It was a weekend retreat. So our fabric, their pattern, and this is one of the jackets that they made over that weekend. And it was just fun to work with another company on education. And this is called the Tabula Rasa jacket. And it was really, really fun to do. So I would like to do that. And I think there's a lot of opportunities to share both education plus our fabrics.
Very nice. That's exciting. So,
Yeah.
so consider this an invitation. Put your teaching together and
Okay.
contact Diana in our office. You know her.
Yes,
With
absolutely.
all the fashion shows we've done and all the challenges. So
Absolutely.
we miss them too. We really miss the SewBatik fashion challenge and all of that. So how does one go about doing business with SewBatik these days? How do they make a purchase?
Well, it's funny you should ask.
That's our website. SewBatik.com. And I would say that on our website, you're going to see different categories. You're going to see our menu, and we have what's new, what are we discontinuing, and what are all of our categories. And so you click on a category and you'll see all of our items, all of our fashion duos, and some of our newsletters and stories at the bottom, just to learn more about us. And it's pretty easy. And you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We have a Facebook Live as well, and YouTube videos for a few basic things that I've done so far to get my feet wet in the education process. So,
okay, let's wind it down with something maybe fun too.
Okay.
You've done so many shows over the years, and so I know that you have the system of having trailers all over the country, and I've never seen anybody so organized and traveling and doing shows. But I'm sure in all of that, something crazy has had to happen in moving, doing. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you, either travel or at a show?
Well, there's been a lot of crazy, but one story always comes to mind, two stories, but one in particular. I had driven until late at night to do a show in Washington State, in
Portland. I thought it was Portland, Oregon.
Portland. Yeah, okay, in Portland, Oregon. And I got there early in the morning, set up the show, and there was about 45 minutes before preview started.
I wasn't there. He had to do this by himself.
And I was having a hard time keeping my eyes open. And so I went to the prime sponsor of the show, who had a ton of space, about 6 long arm machines filled with fluffy batting underneath them. And I just said, man, can I take a nap underneath one of your machines? And just, if it's okay, just remember to wake me up just before preview starts. And so he said, sure, whatever you need. So I immediately fell asleep, and he forgot to wake me up. And so he was demoing the machine to a customer after a preview started, and the customer accidentally kicked me. And that's what woke me up. So I'm looking around under the machine. I'm seeing all kinds of legs and feet around the machine. So I said, I got to get out of here and get to my booth. So finally, I just get out from under, dust myself off, and I say, this one's good to go now. And I just took off and went to my booth.
That's definitely a classic. I could see that. I don't know how you did the traveling you were doing, and I always just say to myself, how do they do this? How do they do
Yeah,
this?
it's pretty crazy.
You know, in a situation like ours, we have to get better at making lemonade, because all of us are sure being dealt a lot of lemons right now.
Well,
And one thing I know we're both grateful for
Yeah.
is the joy of being home,
Yeah.
especially during holiday time, and being able to reflect in the comfort and security of our homes. And, you know, we miss our quilt family, our
Oh, yeah.
brother and sisters, and in vending, our teaching friends, our customers,
for show promoters.
promoters, our show promoters, but
there.
only when the shows are good. And we're just missing, you know,
Yeah,
our family terribly.
it's hard.
But we also have to take stock in the things that are bright in our life too, even
Yeah.
during these tough
Yeah.
days.
I seen a post the other day. I won't give you the whole post, but it was like, you know, it was like Dorothy from the Wizard, and there's no place like home, so stay there.
Well, we eventually need to get out, but yes, we're getting there.
All right, well, I'm going to be back a little later this evening, and I'm going to be talking, you know, just recapping the show, and I have a little message on staying the course, which is something that Diane and Bruce are certainly doing. We have to stay the course, so we'll
Yes.
talk to some people a little later on this evening.
And
We-
David, thank you for being a leader.
Yeah.
Thank you for being out there. Thank you for taking the risks. Thank you for guiding all of us. And we're grateful to you because we're seeing our family now and talking and interacting, and you're giving us a platform to reach out to our customers. So thank you.
Well,
And Jack,
thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we hope to see you soon in person.
Yes.
please,
Yep. Eventually.
hopefully soon.